listening to your intuition, listening to the wisdom that has always existed within you. This inner wisdom does not shout. It whispers. And in a world filled with constant noise, learning to hear that whisper is one of the greatest gifts awakening can offer. There may still be days when you feel lost, days when doubt returns, days when fear tries to convince you that you are moving in the wrong direction. That is normal. Awakening is not a straight line. It is a journey of remembering and forgetting, falling and rising, questioning and discovering. The goal is not to become fearless. The goal is to remain open. Open to growth. Open to truth. Open to yourself. Because every challenge you encounter on this path carries a lesson. Every ending creates space for a new beginning. Every moment of uncertainty invites deeper trust. And perhaps the most important truth of all is this. You do not need to force your awakening. You do not need to rush it. You do not need to become someone extraordinary. The process is already unfolding within you. Like a flower opening to the morning sun, your soul knows exactly how to grow. It knows exactly when to release what is no longer needed. It knows exactly how to guide you toward the life that is meant for you. Your task is not to control the journey. Your task is simply to stay present for it, to keep your heart open when fear appears, to keep moving forward when answers seem distant, to trust that even in moments of confusion, something meaningful is taking place beneath the surface. Because the truth about spiritual awakening is not that it makes you perfect. The truth is that it makes you real. And in a world where so many people spend their lives disconnected from themselves, becoming real is one of the most powerful transformations imaginable. So if you have been feeling different lately, if you have been questioning things you once accepted, if you have been sensing a quiet change unfolding within, there's a moment in life that almost no one talks about. A moment when everything that once felt certain begins to lose its shape. The things that used to excite you no longer have the same power. The conversations around you start to feel strangely empty. The goals you chased for years suddenly seem less important than they once did. And in the middle of all this, you may find yourself asking a question that echoes quietly through your heart. What is happening to me? At first, it can feel unsettling. You look around, and everything appears normal, yet something deep inside you has changed. It is as if you woke up one morning and found that the world is no longer the same place. But the truth is the world has not changed. You have. Many people imagine spiritual awakening as a beautiful experience filled with peace, light, and constant clarity. They picture a person who suddenly understands everything and never struggles again. But that is not the truth. The truth about spiritual awakening is far more human, far more personal, and far more profound. A spiritual awakening often begins with confusion. It begins with questions instead of answers. It begins with uncertainty instead of certainty. It begins when the life you built no longer feels aligned with the person you are becoming. You may notice yourself pulling away from things that once defined you, not because you're trying to reject them, but because your soul is quietly searching for something deeper, something real, something that cannot be found through status, approval, or endless distractions. And this search can feel lonely. You might sit in a crowded room and still feel disconnected. You might spend time with people you love and wonder why a strange distance exists between you. You may even question yourself, wondering if something is wrong. But often, nothing is wrong at all. What you're experiencing is not a breakdown. It is a breakthrough. The challenge is that breakthroughs rarely feel calm. It is about embracing them with awareness. For years, many people learn to suppress their feelings. They hide their sadness. They avoid their fears. They distract themselves from discomfort. But awakening invites a different path. It invites honesty. The kind of honesty that says, this hurts. The kind of honesty that says, I am afraid. The kind of honesty that says, I do not have everything figured out. And strangely, it is within this honesty that true strength emerges. Because real strength is not pretending to be invincible. Real strength is having the courage to face yourself completely, to sit with your fears, to acknowledge your wounds, to accept every part of your humanity. When you do this, something beautiful begins to unfold. You stop fighting yourself. You stop seeing your imperfections as enemies. You stop believing that you must earn your worth. Instead, you begin to recognize a truth that has always been there. You were never lacking. You were never incomplete. You were never separated from the peace you were searching for. The peace was within you all along, hidden beneath layers of fear, hidden beneath years of conditioning, hidden beneath the endless noise of the outside world. And now, through awakening, those layers are slowly falling away. This does not mean life suddenly becomes easy. Challenges will still come. Unexpected changes will still happen. There will still be moments when uncertainty returns. But something within you is different now. You no longer depend on external circumstances to define your inner state. You understand that peace is not the absence of difficulty. It is the presence of awareness. It is the ability to remain connected to yourself even when life feels chaotic. And this connection becomes your anchor. The more you nurture it, the stronger it grows. You begin trusting your intuition more deeply. You begin honoring your inner truth. You begin making decisions based on alignment. As your awakening continues, something unexpected begins to happen. The answers you once searched for outside yourself slowly start appearing within. Not all at once, not in a dramatic flash of light, but gently, quietly, like the first rays of dawn touching a dark horizon. At first, you may not even notice it. You may still have questions. You may still experience moments of uncertainty. Yet beneath those questions, there's a growing sense of trust, a feeling that even when you do not understand everything, life is somehow guiding you exactly where you need to go. This is one of the deepest truths about spiritual awakening. It is not about knowing all the answers. It is about becoming comfortable with mystery. For most of your life, you were taught to seek certainty. You were taught to believe that happiness would come once everything was figured out, once the perfect plan was created, once every fear was removed. But awakening reveals something different. It reveals that life was never meant to be controlled. It was meant to be experienced. And when you stop trying to control every outcome, something remarkable happens. You begin to feel more alive. The present moment becomes richer, more meaningful, more sacred. You notice beauty in places you once ignored. The sound of rain against a window, the movement of leaves in the wind, the quiet stillness that exists before sunrise. These simple moments begin to carry a depth that words can barely describe. This is because awakening changes the way you see. The world itself may look the same, but your awareness expands. You begin to understand that life is not happening against you. It is happening for you. Even the painful experiences, even the disappointments, even the losses that once seemed impossible to understand. One of the hardest parts of awakening is realizing that some things must end before something greater can begin. Old relationships may fade. Old dreams may dissolve. Old versions. Remember that beneath every fear, there is wisdom waiting to emerge. Beneath every ending, there is a new beginning waiting to unfold. Beneath every moment of confusion, there is a deeper truth patiently revealing itself. Your awakening is not a mistake. It is not a detour. It is not something to fear. It is an invitation to return to yourself, an invitation to live with greater awareness, greater authenticity, and greater love. And as you continue this journey, step by step, breath by breath, you may discover something that changes everything. The thing you were searching for was never somewhere far away. It was never hidden in another place, another person, or another future. It has always been here, within you, waiting quietly, waiting patiently, waiting for the moment you are finally ready to see it. And now, perhaps, that moment has arrived.